Oh, it is.
So,
hello.
we'll just wing it, whatever.
Okay.
My brother wore one of these things to like one of those like music festivals. He has like 9 hours of footage that he had to go through.
He kept it on.
You can move your head
time.
down. It's like tilted enough. Like
You can move around, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
yeah, I think if you tilt your head down a little bit, like when you're looking down, it'll be.
Oh my gosh, this
Right
is
down there.
the best thing. Okay. All
You
right.
start getting dizzy.
Welcome to the Ellen Hunter tutorial. Whoa.
Welcome to Alan Hunter's head.
Welcome to my head. Melinda, I would like to do the thing where I can store components here
Oh, okay.
and pay monthly fee to.
Okay, we'll get I guess, I don't know how much, big storage bins or, I don't know.
Okay, we can get a little crate and barrel kind of thing where there's drawers that come out because that's all you really need.
Okay.
That's all you're going to need at any given time to store these because they're so small. But if I could rent a little shelf, that'd be great. We use these little crate and barrel ones. They're like the drawers that you can pull out, the little plastic drawers. And
I think we need crate and barrel.
I mean, did I say crate and barrel? I meant container store. I meant container store, not crate.
Shop at crate and barrel. For
No,
container.
no, I meant container store. Wrong
You
C.
get them at like Walmart too. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Like, who is buying
Crate
only
and
in
barrel.
New York City, are you buying your containers from Crate and Barrel?
I know. And we're gonna have more. Am I recording as we speak?
Yeah.
you're on.
Oh, I'm still on. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hello and welcome. I'm gonna
No,
get.
it's totally looking at her hand. It's not looking
Yeah.
at
Okay, good. I'm gonna have more leaves coming soon. So we're gonna have, a standard leaf wreath order from you. So that'll happen soon. So I actually brought you these to do, but actually we're gonna do these in house. We need them pretty soon. So the new plated leaves are coming in within the week, and we will just ship them up to you. Silver, gold, and antique gold. All right.
That's the Daphne stuff.
The Daphne stuff is coming. There's no real, standard 3-week, whatever is fine. And I was explaining to the girls that we have told all of our new customers that there's a 6 to 12 week lead time on every order. Mm-hmm. So if there's a rush order, that's on us. We're going to accommodate it in-house. But anything like 6 weeks out, ideally we'd like to turn over most of our production to you guys within the next 6 months. We want to be able to have you able to make everything in the collection. Because, and we have maybe 50 SKUs in the entire collection. So, but the great thing about these pieces, and Erica can kind of vouch for this, is that once you understand how one is made and you really kind of get how the branchy pieces are made, you can pretty much look at the rest of it and make it. It's almost like you look at it and you can turn it over on the back and you see how it's made and you can put it together.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's the beauty of this. This one is going to be the first one that I show you guys how to make, because I feel like once you understand how to do this, and the other one that I'm going to show you, you'll pretty much know everything, sort of. The headbands are different. The headbands are just basically I was explaining, it's almost like sewing. You know how it is. When you wire wrap, you're just much more flexible than thread. So you're obviously not going through fabric, but you can wire anything to anything. And it's an awesome thing.
Crystal.
Oh, yeah, it's
Courtney from Louisiana.
Oh, Aurelian. Right.
Remember her? You ever hear from her?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good.
And pass that around.
She's so sweet.
She's doing that.
That one's really easy. You got to do that one. We ordered this one a lot. So.
She did that. Oh, good for her. That's why she went back.
A lot of fun.
I see that one.
Yes.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, I love that piece. I do that one. That's probably my best-selling headband. I have about 10 on order for that right now.
Very pretty.
which doesn't sound like a lot, but
Flowers.
we'll have more. Yeah, those flowers are great. They
That's really-
come as just individual components. And you know what I told Erica when I first trained her was, I said, don't be afraid to make mistakes on these, because it's going to be a little bit different than the typical jewelry that you make. So you guys are like on a science. You have these grids, you have links, you're measuring exact wire twists. For these, you can't really say, well, it's like 10 twists here, it's 5 twists here. It's really just kind of like eyeballing it. And they're meant to be sort of organic. So if it's, each one is going to be just, there's going to be like little differences here and there. As long as it sort of captures the size and essence of this piece, it's really just kind of about looking at the sample and making it from the sample. There's no real pattern we could technically give you. It's hard to measure each branch exactly how long it is, but looking at this sample, that's going to be kind of your pattern. That's how it goes. So it's got this organic look to it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You can always fix wire. You can always say, okay, this branch is so wonky, we're going to fold it and bend it down, reshape it. You can always reshape pieces, and worst comes to worst, we can clip it off and redo the branch. So don't be afraid to just get in there. Okay, now with this, I'm going to use my 24 gauge wire. For anything that's on like a branchy piece like this, 24 gauge wire on a comb is important. 24. Okay, so you're going to start with, usually start with about a yard. Kind of eyeball this.
For each comb, it's a yard.
You're going to use, it's going to be in sections,
Okay.
but for the first, what I start with is this end part here. And if you've ever made one of my branches like this, it kind of starts off just like this. Yeah. So this is, you're going to be doing more of these, and in different, it's the same, yeah, it's the same form. It's almost like, it's like a tree branch format. So it's like branch, bark, branch, bark, branch, bark. So it just kind of goes off like that of each one. Okay. So with this comb here, I'm going to start with our little margarita crystal, the 6 millimeter, and the Swarovski bicone, this little bead here, 4 millimeter. All right, so basically start creating that little branch, and I'm gonna go. And what I do a lot of times is I flip it over to the back and kind of, if you need to, maybe hold up against and see where you are. Okay, how long is that? If it needs to be, it's always better to be maybe too long than too short. Because if it's too long, you can always kind of fold it down. If it's too short, it's too short. So basically I'm just building out this little branch.
You take 3 stones right there.
3 beads right here.
Yeah.
Thank you. 3 beads. Create that little trio. And then to create this length here, you always twist your base. Just like that. So after I've done the 2, one here, twist that center. And then I have one always going up. After I do left and right, I have one going up the center.
Which bead do you use up the center?
You're just going to look at this, and you're just going to follow this. So this one is going to be a margarita crystal. Going up the center. You guys know about the margarita crystal, I'm sure. It's the sparkliest. It's the best. My favorite Swarovski stone. I use it in every design.
I just had fun with those this winter.
Aren't they? They're so. Oh my gosh, they pick up more light than anything.
This is the margarita one?
This is margarita, so I have it in 6 millimeter and 8 millimeter.
Those have like foil on the back.
They have foil, yeah. They're very multifaceted. They're so amazing. I really love working with those. Okay, so continuing to build my branch and really just sort of kind of holding it up to this as I work down this thing. And when I get closer to being at the point where I need to put it onto the comb, I'll explain a little bit more.
When you start to twist,
Yes.
you're allowing how much spacing, and you're twisting down?
You know what I'm typically doing is it's about 1/4 of an inch on each
When it's
branch.
finished or before you twist?
Both both before and after. So
Okay,
here's
it stays, okay.
so here's what I do. I'll show you my kind of method. Is all right. I need to do another margarita. So basically, what you do is you take either your trio or your bead, slide it down the wire, and then what I do is I kind of hold it like right here, however long I know I want it to be, and then I fold it in half. If that, before I start twisting, if that branch looks too long or too short, I can always unfold it and reposition the
So
bead.
that's basically where it's going to end up. The twist doesn't take away too much length.
The twist won't take away length at all. It's just... And what I find too is that folding method of like folding it in the center is also going to help you keep your twist really even. It's going to keep your twist looking very centered. There you go. Okay.
Otherwise, you can wind up with like one straight and one wrapped around it.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So,
When I first started, like the first time I was doing it, like the first few weeks actually, I was just unfolding these. So like I would unfold the branches until I really got the hang of it. I would unfold the branches and just kind of just kept practicing how to get like that length, you know.
that's a good way to do it, yeah.
Because you can easily bend these back, and Ellen plays with them all the time. So she adjusts,
we call
yeah.
it zhuzhing.
She always adjusts, and you can kind of see the pattern like that. That's all it is.
That's a
Like,
good way to explain it, yeah.
yeah. That's how I did it, and it made it so much easier until I actually got like the hang of it. Until when I could start doing it like she does.
Because we can always adjust it. Like even if
Yeah.
you send it to us like that, it'd be okay because we can just
Yeah.
move them back
Right.
where they need to be.
Right.
Because we're going to ultimately probably wire them onto the wreaths
You know my memory.
in-house, or we'll have you wire them to the wreaths. But that's a good way to look at it as a pattern.
It's buckle.
And to lay them out, it's a little easier to see if you're getting the right lengths because they're pretty much all the same length. And when you fold them over, and you can kind of get the hang of it a little easier.
Good.
But the piece you're working on, you're doing the center also.
Yes, so this, basically I'm working on this end until it's time to put
But
this,
that has your 2 branches plus you're doing a center in between each branch.
I am,
That's the only
yes.
difference between the branch.
Actually, yeah,
Oh.
it's the same.
Yeah, it's kind of the same. I mean,
Because she pulled
She'll
it
like
apart.
push that one there, like it's
oh
like
yeah,
there'll
She
be
pulled it apart.
1, 2, and then the third one will be pushed to the middle,
yeah.
and then it's like 1, 2, and the third one will be
Yeah.
pushed to the middle. you
It's
know?
really for like aesthetically, once the piece is put together, it doesn't look like, you can't really tell how it's made.
Right.
But for that
Yeah.
way, we need to see, like production wise, it's helpful to spread it out like that.
Yeah.
So this piece is not just slid up the center of the stem and anchored there.
It's, well, no, it's a branch that could be done that way. Yeah. So technically we could do this
So you could pull
out to the side. I just immediately like push them up the center.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you'll see the basic kind of foundation for all my pieces is this kind of concept. Is that like winter branch, 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 stem, branch, branch, stem, dun, dun, dun. Yeah. And it just kind of, that's what creates that length. All right. So even when I make these, they never quite look identical to whatever, but I just try to get the length right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm right about the point where I'm ready to put it on the comb. Okay, so here's what I do. I take this branch, which is this side of the comb here. I'm gonna take my comb. And I'm going to have this one side of the wire, the base of the wire on one side, on the other. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but it's basically going to like straddle the end of your comb here. Kind of stabilize each side of the wire. This and this. And then what I do is, because this is going to be bent around a lot, and you don't want this end part to break off when somebody's playing with it or trying it on a million times in one of the stores. So I take my wire and I sort of wrap that end tight, wrap it tightly around the comb, and then I just reinforce it by kind of going around a couple times. Bless you. Does that make sense? It just kind of, just to stabilize this part here, is what I did was I just kind of wrapped a few times with that wire, just to make sure that it's not just a flimsy piece of wire coming off the end. Because brides, they'll take it, they'll bend it a bunch of times, and you know what happens with wire. If you bend it enough times, it'll snap off. Okay, so then I begin I'm just gonna move that wire away for a second. Then when I began what is almost like a free form technique. Okay, and this is the part where you're just sort of eyeballing this piece, looking, okay, there's a margarita crystal there. I'm gonna put one there. I'm gonna just position one right there. And then I usually work with both wires to put the crystals where they need to be. There's a branch here, so I'm adding it individually.
Now she's just like creating the branches from the comb instead of twisting to make the little bark.
Yes.
Down.
Exactly. Move that out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to put on my first little Navette flower here. These have a backing. I'll pass this around too, you guys can see. The backing has these little grooves that I use to wire onto pieces. I will sometimes use these Navette flowers to do like a pearl drop from them for earrings. These are really easy to attach to earrings because, as you can see, there's a place where you can put like French wire, you can put a lever back. You can also, like, lever back would go here. You can put on the opposite side a pearl drop, you know, with your head pin. These are really easy to work with because there's an even number or odd number, whatever it is. It's just, you use like the opposite sides of this to wire. So like a little button we're sewing on. I'm just gonna take it, and the key is with this is you kind of want to go a little bit, you want to pull it up pretty tightly. So you're wiring one side, and almost like a needle and thread, you're just going to wire the other side. You mentioned you've done bridal before. Did you do anything like this?
We did a lot more with regular thread
Okay.
and gluing. Honestly.
Sure. Okay.
And on the
Gluing.
price points.
Sure. Yeah.
And we did some wiring, but not as much.
Okay. Now, and there's, you know, you'll see like little spacers, just trio, margarita, you know, in between. But I'm constantly, as I make this, referring to this sample.
And how long does it usually take if you're not
For
showing
me,
people?
let me see. If I'm making this piece, it's going to take me about half an hour.
Uh-huh.
Beginning to end, half an hour, possibly 25 minutes. Erica, how long would you say this piece takes you?
It'd take me about a half hour, 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, you're going to get, well, let's check this out. You will get, you guys will get faster as it goes on. I mean, it's hard. I know this seems pretty complex right now, but you'll get to a point where this looks like the simplest thing. It's really,
It's something that you really have to just start doing.
you just jump into it. You literally just jump into
Yeah.
it. There is, and I mean, I say this, I know a lot of designers are very particular about how they want their stuff. There's almost no way to mess this up. I mean, that sounds so crazy to say that, but you can do it and we can always tweak it. We can always fix it, but don't be afraid to just get in there and just start rolling with it. Yeah.
Like that's what takes me the longest, especially beginning. I was so concerned about making each branch just the right height, just the right size. And then once I started loosening up a little bit and realizing, okay, it doesn't have to be, if it's, a little
Yeah.
bit too long, it's fine.
That's the best
bend
way.
it at the end and fix it to make it look right.
Right.
That's the best way to describe exactly. Like that was when, I told her one day, I was like, don't be afraid. Here's a bunch of beads. Just go. And she has been kicking booty since then. She's awesome.
You really can't be too concerned making it look exactly like that. If
'Cause you'll
one
spend
branch-
hours,
you
yeah.
will spend hours. Like
Same with these branches, ladies. We can always reshape these if one's way too long or whatever. We can always reshape them. So yeah, just getting in there and being like, going.
Okay.
Okay, so when this little wire's gotten too short, so I'm gonna wrap it around a couple of times, clip it off, and then just flatten it with my pliers. The key is you want to make sure that you end it like kind of on top of the comb versus the part that's on the girl's head. So you just kind of flatten that out. And like, okay, I always look at it in sections. Bead there, bead, bead. Okay. As my mama would say, easy as pie. We're Southern.
North Carolina.
Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I always try to guess first.
A lot of people say that though. North Carolina. No. Okay. Like I said, it's always better for the branches to be maybe a little longer than too short. But, Okay. Sometimes I'll hold it up. Yeah. It's looking pretty good. And then we're going to put our second navette. And I'm telling you, once you guys are going to get to a point where I will send you a piece that I won't even need to Skype train you on. You'll look at it and be like, yep, it's pretty much made the same as everything. So you'll know when you see it how to make it. That, if you can imagine that. And when I'm putting these nivettes on, I'm pulling this wire pretty tightly because you don't want them to be like flopping around. However, what I have found is that if your stones feel loose that are on the comb, one good solution is I use hypo cement. You know the little tube. I'll use hypo cement and just kind of put a few dots along here, just to reinforce it so it doesn't wiggle around. One quick fix. I always find you can go back and fix stuff if you need to. All right. And then basically I'm just kind of building this out the same way all the way across. Sometimes you'll come across one that's like this one, where it's 2 on 1. And so it's like this. And so that's how it's supposed to be. It's just kind of scrunched up. Okay, I'm going to take this. You're going to twist this one down just about that much. You're going to add this second part of the branch. And then you twist the whole bottom part. And now we've gotten a little too short on this wire to do anything else with it, so I'm gonna just finish this off. Yep. All right. And what I usually do is then start another wire. So I'll take same thing. Was that all on one wire?
Yes.
I think that was.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we got a lot out of that one. So clip. Okay. Usually you'll do this, maybe you'll start the wire 3 times. Okay. Now, the difference is when you're in this center part, instead of starting like a branch like this, you just kind of actually start your wire on the comb. So you're going to go
So you're not
this.
starting from the middle.
You're not, yeah, exactly. You're not starting from the middle of the wire. Starting from the end of the wire, you wrap it around a few times to stabilize it onto the comb and press your pliers down so you have a new fresh piece of wire to work with. Now, I'm just following what I see here. It's, our pattern is sort of kind of organic looking. It's not meant to be like stiff measured out pieces. It's just kind of little freeform wires.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. And Erica, do you have any like pointers you can think of? I think you kind of put it best.
I know, I'm just trying to think, like, right when you get up to there.
Okay.
What are you doing right now?
I'm just doing each branch like along the comb.
How many nivets are there? The flower nivet?
There are 4.
4.
This particular branch in the center has, it's a kind of longer. So I'm gonna go like this. And we can leave you these samples here if you want to hang on to them. Oops, I think I hit the camera. I don't know if I knocked it off. Okay. I hope I'm not twisting these too fast. You guys kind of understand what I'm doing. If you have any questions. Okay, and then between these 2 nivets, there's a little Swarovski guy in there.
See, that's probably the hardest part, like when you do little short guys like that. See how that has to be pushed down right there? So she just does a really super short twist. And I think that was probably one of the hardest things that I had to kind of get, because you have to get it kind of short. It doesn't have to be too short, and then you just press it down into there. So
As like an in-between the nivet flowers.
it's in between.
Hey.
So it just gets pressed down in. It took me a minute to kind of...
Yeah, it's kind of, it can be a bit challenging, but. I'm Ellen.
Hi, Jody.
Nice to meet you.
Let me see where you
Yeah. Here, I'll pass this around. You can kind of see where I am in the process.
And move around the twists if you want, like...
Yeah.
Yes. The light's on the outside right there.
4.4 magnitude earthquake in Los Angeles.
Oh my gosh, really?
And there was one in Mexico yesterday. Not Mexico, Chile.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder if it's going up the coast.
I was just in LA a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about the the fault lines and everything out there. It's crazy.
Yes, we are. There's so
I
It's
know.
really just full.
where she is.
I know. That's what they always used to say. Okay.
Is it pointed down?
Yeah, I was doing this last night.
Is that your camera?
I feel like I'm about to go into a cave.
I know, it's gotta be like
Yeah, it's been
Hunting for
pointing down.
bears.
It's been.
Okay. All right.
Totally experimenting there. It's the first time I used it.
Really?
What is it?
It's a GoPro.
Oh,
I'm supposed to be
snowboarding
snowboarding and on a motorcycle with it.
Right, right. Well, you know.
But yeah, I'm curious to see because I thought about doing this before with other stuff and doing like a time lapse
interesting.
photography but just so that we have something that we can refer to.
I think it's a good tool to have, and you also like I was telling Erica, because there's no like set pattern, like the sample is the pattern that you're always going to go off of the original sample. You'll keep a sample here, but once you see how this piece is made, you'll know how to make all the other pieces. You really will. It's just sort of like the foundation for everything.
That's good.
These pieces are much easier.
That's like the highest toilet I've ever seen.
Like a throne.
Like my feet were not even touching the ground.
For handicap.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Swinging my legs around. Like on a swing.
Swinging them around. Oh yeah, that piece is kind of an older sample, so you feel how they kind of like wiggle around.
This guy, yeah.
Yeah, that one has been traveling all over the place with me, but when you make it, it's much tighter and less movie.
So you should tell your Carolina Herrera.
Oh, do you want to hear the story?
Yes.
Are you ready to just lose it? This is awesome. Okay. So, I was getting on an airplane 2 weeks ago, and I was going to LA with my husband, and we were going to visit this line of spas that wants to carry my product, and they want to carry my barrettes. I'm doing these like little crystal barrettes. So I did them in all these spa colors, and they were like, we went out there, we had a big meeting with them, and I was also just going to try to pass out line sheets to like Fred Siegel and different big stores out there. Well, I'm getting on the plane, and I see Carolina Herrera is in first class on my flight. Everybody knows Carolina
she's
Herrera.
there.
She's like on the flight.
Oh, jeez.
And she's in first class, and she's sitting like, she basically looks like she's on a throne. She's in a chair by herself, and she's in the very first seat of first class. And I was like, oh my God, she's so amazing. She's perfect. And I see her when I'm walking on, and I was like, oh my gosh, Jim, that's Carolina Herrera. He's like, oh, that's great. So we go sit down. I know guys don't care. So we go sit down, and we're on the runway for 3 hours. And the flight's delayed. There's like mechanical errors, issues, blah, blah, blah. Finally, we take off, and they start passing out free wine because there was such a delay. Everybody's so cranky and mad and pissed.
And if I have a sip of wine, go to
Yes, everybody go and get wine and whatever. So they're passing out wine, and we had several glasses of wine. And then I start getting really brave, and I was like, I'm going to go talk to her. I'm going to go give her my business card. And he's like, do it. You have to go do it. You're going to regret it if you don't do it.
Now, were you in first class?
No, we were like in
They're
the,
pretty strict.
we're like in the middle. I know, right? They're very strict about it. So I was like, I don't want to get kicked off a flight.
You just walk up there like you belong there.
So I was like, okay, I have to like sneak into there. So I don't want to like get kicked off this flight. So I was just like, I don't know. So we told the flight attendant, I was like, I just wanted to run it by her so that I didn't get like, kicked off or something. And she's like, well, I didn't see you do it. Daughter's like a young up and coming actress. And if she was in the same situation, I'd encourage her to do it. So I didn't see you do it. She's like, I'll keep an eye out. So I actually snuck up into first class and knelt down at her feet. And I was like, I have a business card for you, and I would love to collaborate with you. And I sell my product in Bergdorf Goodman, Henry Bendel, and I really think that we could collaborate together. And I would love to do a line for you. And she's like, okay. Like, she's kind of thrown off, but she's like, yeah, I mean, this is bridal. She's like, maybe we need this. She's like, we have bridal. Maybe we need this. And I was like, okay. She said, contact my assistant on Monday morning. And so I sent her assistant an email, and she didn't get back to me for a few days. But then I got contacted by the VP of retail, and they're like, Ellen, this is perfect timing. Our jewelry person that's been working with us for 10 years is going out of business.
Oh my
They're like, so this is perfect timing. He does headpieces, jewelry,
Oh my goodness.
veils, and we've been scrambling. We didn't know what we were going to do. And Carolina loved that you came up to her on the flight.
Ah!
Crazy timing.
Wow.
So they're ordering stuff for their LA, Dallas, and New York stores. They're ordering like
Oh my
headpieces, jewelry, veils, belts, because I'm getting veils and belts in India. And we're collaborating, and we're going to do a line for Carolina Herrera. How cool is that? And we're doing stuff to go down their runway in like 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. that
Yeah,
is so
their April
exciting.
runway show. We're going to have like belts on their runway.
Oh my goodness.
It's insane. So
That
anyways,
is so exciting.
that's why I'm here, because I need you guys to be my worker bees.
Oh my goodness.
So what happened to the guy who went out of business? He wasn't doing enough business with her.
Nope, it wasn't that. He's retiring. He's just retiring. He's been
Can you buy
doing.
his beads?
I don't even like his work. I hate it. I was looking at it. It's all really heavy soldered stuff.
Wow.
And he does big pearls. It looks like old lady jewelry.
Right,
I
right.
hate this stuff. And when they saw it, they were like, Ellen, we like your stuff so much that we had one last purchase order with him, and we're going to cancel it. And I felt kind of bad. But they were like, I know, I felt bad, but they're like, Ellen, it doesn't make sense for us. Why would we have one last purchase order with him?
Yeah.
And we're going to have all these brides that want to reorder this stuff, and we can't get it, when with you, we can reorder forever. And I'm like,
Makes total sense.
and they're like, we kind of feel bad, but they're like, we canceled it. I was like, oh God. Oh, but it's business. Sorry.
He retired a little bit earlier.
He retired, he did. I mean,
all.
if he was able to continue his business, it wouldn't be there, but
That's
Right,
a good
right,
sign for you, the fact that she's willing to.
she canceled a purchase order.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I hope that doesn't.
Yay for wine.
Yay! Yay, Chardonnay! Oh my God, seriously.
And late airplanes.
Thank God for my Irish husband that's like, have another drink and go up and talk to her. I'm like, yeah, honey.
It was you, actually.
You too. I love that.
That
Oh,
is so funny.
wine makes us, it's all called liquid courage.
Yeah.
Oh my
True,
God.
true.
True. Okay, so that's my Carolina story. And that's why I'm here today.
That's great. That's great.
That's why I'm here. And this happened the day after I signed with the investor. So she was so happy. She's like, wow.
Wow.
Very happy.
Amazing.
Very, very happy. Okay, so
So when's your first order with them?
first order, they're sending over the finalized purchase order today. But
First order.
for the first order, and it's due at the end of April. So I have you guys doing, some of the pieces for her order.
Can you see what she's doing?
So some of these pieces are actually what she's ordered, or what she's ordering. Yes, take that. Yeah, I'm using it later to do the Maryland
Yeah.
comb. All right, so just kind of following my piece here.
Is there a name to this comb?
This is the Lydia comb, and Lydia. There are many more combs very similar to this, kind of all made the same way. The ends are done first, and then I don't know if I need to make this a little bit slower for the video or just in real
No,
time.
I think maybe for another video or another piece, that
Mhm.
you do one straight on.
Okay, as if I'm just normal.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, so it's not like a lot of stop and go.
Okay,
And
you can do a
maybe
lot of-
do one of these pieces because you do that in like
Oh,
4 minutes.
a hot minute, yeah.
And Yeah, I got another battery. We'll just keep it
Okay.
going.
Let's do it.
I just think it's. I tried to do.
I know.
I have a Wi-Fi, so you set the camera.
Watch
up,
this be like upside down the whole time, and we
set it, no, I
got
can
the
flip
ceiling.
it, though.
Okay.
But you could set the camera up to your sight line with
Right.
the Wi-Fi so that you can make sure it's positioned right. So I did that last night. So I was thinking I was going to be in here at 8:30 this morning, and when I got here, I couldn't get the Wi-Fi to connect. It's like not good.
Do you guys do enameling, by the way?
No, that involves a kiln, but I have somebody who's more than willing to try. I have a solder.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay,
I can inquire about that.
let's do that because
'Cause
I'm
that's
actually
something-
considering enameling some
Yeah, because
flowers.
that's something that we've been wanting to do for a while, but we
Okay.
haven't had no one's ever asked.
Let me tell you something, Erica. If you're looking through the photos right now, try to pull up a picture of one of my painted flower pieces. We hand paint a lot of our flowers. They are actually, oh yeah, there you can see that. But the problem is they chip off. If we enamel them, it's going to be a really pretty like matte finish, and it will never wear off.
And can that be put in a kiln at a high temperature?
Absolutely, it's brass. I've had pieces like that enameled before that I bought off Etsy, and the girl on Etsy, she's she didn't really get back to me. I was like, can if I send you custom pieces?
Send me some of the pieces.
I
We
will.
can experiment.
We play with them,
Have
yeah.
you done it? Do you have the stuff at home? The enamel? All right, so we'll research and see what kind of stuff it is.
So
But send me the flowers you want.
yeah,
Okay.
we have flowers that you can experiment with, and if you destroy them, that's okay. They're just test pieces. We'll send like a dozen or so.
Okay.
You just play around with them. Okay, so now I've gotten towards the end here. So I'm going to actually even though I have a lot of wire here, I'm going to clip that off because I'm going to start the way that I started this side. I'm going to do this side.
So you're just gonna make another branch and then
Yep. Okay. All right.
How close to the end of you? Do you have space on the
I
cone yet, or you
have
just-
space for like that last Navette flower.
Okay.
And I'm just going to kind of start. I left enough space to where, you don't want to be at the very end because you need to be able to attach that branch on and have enough
Okay, with these on.
teeth. Yeah, maybe like, see, I have 4 teeth on this comb. Open. Right, so I've got my yard. Mind just tossing that in the garbage. All right. Okay. Same thing, just making that little. I feel like we need some Irish music.
Courtney, did you make soap bread last night?
I wasn't home all day. All day. I wound up having to drive my little sister back up to Culinary Institute. I got home at like 1 o'clock in the morning. She stayed in the Bronx after my mother left. There was like the parade in Bronx now. She stayed in the Bronx after my mother left, knowing that she had no way back to school.
That was not nice.
It's like more for Pat because he had to be up at like 4:45 this morning.
That's exactly when my husband woke up this morning.
So you see how she's doing that, Jody?
So I'm kind of looking, I'm creating this branch before I wire it onto the comb. So each end, I started this end kind of like that. And then if you've ever made these before, it's a similar concept where it's like branch, branch, center, branch, branch, center, branch, branch. Yeah. Again, I'm always holding
This
it
is
up.
our third employee.
Aw.
Oh, he is such a love bug, and he is Irish.
She is.
Seamus is
He better
Irish.
be.
He is so Irish. He actually likes Guinness. Jim has put it in his little bowl before, and he laps it up, and he burps afterwards. It's so cute.
No way. Oh.
He is our little bunny rabbit. We love him. Our third employee. He's the best. And I'm always running, there's always one going up the center, so it makes it look looks pretty. Let's see. I'm always referring to the sample too, so you need to hold it up a few times and double check. Okay, it's about ready to put onto the comb, so I just that's what I do is I just sort of wrap around one side. I'm gonna wrap the other side.
Start at the far end there.
Yeah, and I kind of bring this one over here. Just get it out of the way. This is what I do is I take it, so instead, because this is going to move around a lot, you don't want this piece breaking off. So in order to stabilize it, just kind of wrap around a couple of times. And back onto the comb, and back onto the branch. The branch just a teeny bit, come back down. Just to make it stabilize, or just
the base of this though, not
yeah,
too far out, right?
not too far out. Yeah, just kind of at the base. And then you're almost ready to finish this guy off. Put one more little margarita. If you ever feel like, you know what, there's an awkward space, you can put maybe, like, if you feel like the need to just put one extra little thing, it's, it'll be okay. Okay, so this is when it starts to get a little thick because you've put a lot of wire here. That's okay. So we're gonna just clip this off and plier that down. And we're ready for the final finishing touch, which is the last navette flower. And it has these little grooves on the back, so you just gotta put it through one of those. You'll see some of them are more open than others. You'll take one that has an equally open opposite side. That makes sense. I'm gonna go like that. And tightly wrap that. It's almost like sewing with wire.
Yeah.
And kind of decide where to finish this off. I will typically, there's so much wire here, maybe you could bring it off to a little area that has less wires. Just find a little creative spot. You want to wrap it a few times first before you cut off that piece. And you've made a headpiece. There we go. And I always just I play with the branches, kind of move them around a little bit to keep that little organic look, but that's that.
Beautiful.
See, it's not identical. It's just, it's in the same sort of design idea in the same direction, and yeah. It looks really, these are great because, brides love these. They can bend them, they can move them, they can reshape them, but these are really great selling combs for us. We do these a lot. Things like this.
So do you sell matching earrings with those?
I do, yeah.
Or some brides request that?
I have a very small collection. Because my collection is mainly headpieces. It's pretty focused on that. But I do have, just because a no-brainer to add on, you know, a matching earring for a bride, because
Right.
otherwise they're going to get it somewhere else. So
Right.
with this, and the earrings are so easy to make. You know, they're just 1.5 minutes. You can add a head pin and a French wire to one of these Navette flowers, and you have an earring.
I see. Good.
So as far as the collection goes, the earrings and stuff, those are easy pieces to do. But pieces like this are the most complex. Once you learn how to do these, you are an Ellen Hunter employee for life. Yep. So that's that. Yay.
Excellent.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, what's next? You guys want to go on to the next one or one of these?
Do one of these real
Okay.
quick,
All right.
and then we'll go on to the next one.
Okay.
I actually would like it, maybe if you did 2 of them,
Okay.
and you do it like how she does the layout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
There's that trick that Erica pointed out to us that I liked.
We're going to use 26 gauge wire on these. It'll be easier on your hands. Okay. The trick that she does, I don't usually work that. My mind kind of works slightly differently. So
We'll do it the way you do it first. And then
I'm going to do it the way that I do it first, because I'm actually not, I mean, I could do it this way. Okay.
This is just the way I learned how to do it until I got the knack of how she
Right.
did it. Because one day, all of a sudden, it just clicked.
Right.
But in order to train myself to get the length of everything,
I think that's a good idea, because that was something I had a little struggle with.
Oh,
was the
okay.
length of it.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I trained myself to get like uniform length, kind of.
Because to me, I was having trouble with when I would position the middle piece in and I'd start the side pieces. And I'm like,
Right,
too
right.
long, too
Yeah.
long. I was always going too long.
That's exactly what I was doing, or I was getting the pearls too
But I
short.
liked this way.
Okay. So okay. So you're going to start with your center thing, just like,
So I thought maybe like you did have
The ice skaters.
yeah.
Elephants and Johnny Weir, yeah.
That's right.
I was like,
He is
I was, like,
hilarious.
cooking, and I'm looking, and it's funny because I didn't have a counter on that side of the kitchen before, so I was cooking, and I can actually watch TV when I'm like preparing,
Right.
and I was like, oh my god, and then
That is the funniest thing
I didn't know
ever.
how long they were going to be talking, so I
Right,
ran
of
downstairs
course.
to put on channel 4 and pause it.
By the way, anytime you ever
So
see anything,
funny.
people write me all the time, is this yours? And I'm like, no. Like, because a lot of times it's just not, but I love when people,
And then I
Keep
tried
an
to look
eye
it
out.
up. Yeah,
Right,
I tried to
right.
look. I tried to find like a picture of that, but I guess because it was just on, I couldn't even find like a Google image of it because it was like a picture of the TV screen,
Right.
God,
that was
it's
happening
so
at that
awesome.
moment.
and it was still paused when my boyfriend came home. He was like, "What's going on there?" That's a thing I made.
that is so funny. You're like, you're not going to
that.
It is a weird feeling. When Beyonce wore one of my headpieces, it was like, I think it was from a recent batch that I had made, or maybe Melinda, you had made it, but I was like, I mean, to think that she's got that on her head and my dog like probably sniffed it, like was probably like sitting on my floor or something like that. Like Seamus probably came up and like,
You don't go there.
That's cute.
it's kind of like a funny thought.
Yeah. Right.
She has no idea. I'm like, does she even know like what she did for me? Like that was the coolest thing ever.
With her stupid hair.
It's the worst haircut ever. She looked awful. Oh my god. Probably like how my hair's gonna look after I take this thing off. I don't typically wear elastic cameras around my head, but
It's good look. It's good.
it's good luck, yeah.
I actually thought it was a light when I first walked.
Ah!
I had one of those.
Doctor.
Yeah, like you've seen this.
Sorry, I'm actually gonna. There we go.
It looks like it's pointing right at it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
keeping my fingers crossed.
If not, you know, Melinda, what we were
I think
thinking
you got
is.
a lot. I think that there's enough on that because I think you got enough on it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like you're definitely in the field. I set it
Mm.
to the most wide because there's like super wide angles.
Mhm.
This thing does.
Mm. Let's see.
It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. This is perfect.
That's great. And also, Melinda, we were thinking about maybe taking a trip up here once every 2 weeks
Okay.
to show you new pieces, to work directly with you, and you know, it could be good if we work closely together, especially in the beginning on these pieces.
Sure.
I'll do training videos and whatever you need me to do. So see how this long wire took me pretty much to the center. And then we're gonna I'll go ahead and finish that off. Wrap it a few times.
Now, when you do this stuff for Carolina Herrera, will
Mm-hmm.
it be Avant Bride or Carolina Herrera?
Actually, I don't go by Avant Bride anymore.
What are you doing?
Ellen Hunter NYC. So you probably will want to change your records, but it's not really going to matter. I mean, if you invoice me as Avant Bride, I know what you're talking about. But just for our purposes, if you need I have a new EIN number and all that stuff. I don't even know if you need that, but
No, I don't like that.
okay. I don't think so, but it's the same address, everything. Just different LLC.
So you're gonna get to keep your name?
Yes, we're gonna do Ellen Hunter NYC for Carolina
You
Herrera.
gotta do little tags that glue on.
I know. Okay, do you have?
Yeah, I'll give you information on that.
Yay. No, she wants those. She wants like special tags and
Who does?
Carolina.
She does?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so find out the specs, I guess.
Okay.
And I would need your art, or is it gonna be her stuff? Her
It's usually pretty nice
Okay.
out. But
Oh yeah, we're gonna
it's
head
not
back
just
during the
done.
parade.
Oh, yeah, I've been to the parade.
Okay.
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 For today.
We're
During the parade, we have to have
Parade.
that? That's when,
yeah, we have to. There's no choice.
it's not in the morning?
It's like noon to 2, I think, is when the time is. Okay, so when you get closer to the end,
That's why I like you guys to get out.
But then it keeps going.
Yeah.
It's only on TV, I think, 11
Yeah.
to 2, but it can go till about, 4 or 5?
Oh, yeah?
By the time
By the time
everybody,
yeah.
yeah, by the time everybody marches and gets to 86th Street.
okay, I'm gonna show you guys all the end part here. So you're gonna go. We park on 7th Avenue though, so hopefully we won't hit that east side.
Yeah, no, you should be fine.
Okay. Now, what I'm trying to do is end it the same way I started with the pearl and 2 stones. But I see here I'm going to run into...
This one has a single, so that happens sometimes.
Sometimes that happens. What I'm going to try to do is avoid that.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold it with my pliers here and kind of slide that part down. Just going to wiggle it, slide that, and then do this. Occasionally when you're wiring these pieces, a stone may pop out. That's okay. You may come across one that just doesn't have a stone in it. Just put it aside. We can always put a stone back in there, but I just usually use the ones that are all together intact. It happens though. Just keep an eye out. Try not to wire, one without a stone. Just keep an eye out for that as you go. Okay. My wire's kind of short on the end here, but it's enough to do this last part. And again, you're going to just kind of go around once or twice. And then,
And that's enough.
yep.
Do you secure them with glue at all? Do you do jeweler's glue?
Sometimes I do. Yep, sometimes I do. You may find, now what I find is that this little ball on the end is enough to keep that from sliding off. I've worked with bands before, it's just a flat end. And in that case, I would definitely secure it with some cement, some jeweler cement. With this particular piece, I mean, my sample has been all over the country, all over the world, in suitcases, smushed, tried on, stepped on, so it's really loose.
Right.
But when we sell this to a bride or a customer, it's never this loose. It's just, this is an old sample. But what I do is when we wire these motifs on this band, it's the same kind of band, you're going to do it tightly with your wire, but you're also going to go through at the end with a little bit of jeweler cement. Just dab a bit on each crystal on the back.
Do you dab it on the wire part or inside?
Inside. Yep, inside where the crystal meets the band, where that contact point is. Just put a little bit of glue there. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. I'll show you. Okay, so now you know how to make the nail band. And it's very flexible. It's really, I love making this one. I think it's pretty easy to make, and it's just
18 minutes.
That one is really a pattern.
18 minutes? Get out of here. Don't get
That's
up.
what
Don't
Erica
leave though.
says.
Is that what Erica says?
18
Sweet.
minutes.
Oh my gosh. I feel like an Olympic wirer. Okay, so
it
that's
takes me longer to make those. Honestly, it takes me about a half hour to make those. I just started doing those, but like the most time consuming part for me on this one is keeping these little crosses steady while you're wiring with one hand.
Yep, that
That's
is
gonna
the
be
key.
that's the most time consuming part on that one.
That is absolutely the
You
truth,
just
for
made
sure.
it easy.
I made it look
Yeah, she makes
easy. That's the
everything
thing.
I use my
That's where I
thumbnail
get ya.
a lot. Like I don't have a big thumbnail, but I try to use my thumbnail as much as
Yep.
I can with that because it gives you enough.
Very
It's so
true.
small.
And sometimes when you're doing that, if you're pressing a little hard, stone may pop out.
They'll bend. just
They'll
bend it
bend, you bend it back. Now the other thing is, like, let's say a stone pops out and you're kind of like you're working, you're too far away, you're like, oh my gosh, that stone popped out. Don't worry about it. We'll reset it later. It's not worth it to go all the way back.
Okay.
Undo it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh yeah, you can glue.
Just flag it. Do you send little extra stones?
I can.
They'll be at the bottom of the bag.
They'll be at the bottom of the bag, or they'll fly across the room. You'll see it gleaming in the sun. Let's see. What else? Do you guys want to? I'll do this one.
Okay.
What time are we working with here? It's 11 o'clock.
11, yeah.
Okay.
What's the name of that headband?
The one that we just did. Oh, this one is the Cindy band. Cindy, she is one of my best sellers. I love it because it's got like, I don't know, it looks
Expensive.
It looks expensive. It's got that major bling factor, and it's plated in what's called imitation rhodium. It's a tin. It's basically a silver tin mix, and it gives it like an antiqued look. Where is? Oh, here it is. This one. All right. So when I send you guys these crystals, they're going to be kind of ready to go. They're not going to have these rings on the end, but I use these rings to make bracelets, rings, or I snap off one side and make it into an earring. Talk about the easiest earring you'll ever make in your life. This attached to a French wire. Unbelievably easy. But in this instance, for my headband, I'm taking off both ends. You probably won't ever need to do this. We'll send these to you like normal.
All ready to go.
Yeah, but I just kind of break those
Well,
off.
there goes your job, Liz.
Are you the breaker offer of rings? If I needed to.
Prep girl.
Yeah.
Prep girl. Sorry, I'll leave the rings on for you then.
No, that's okay.
Okay. So in this particular one, I just prep my little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these guys.
Is there a name to that?
Okay.
I call it
It's a rhinestone eyeball.
rhinestone eyeball. You're good. You're good at naming
I
these.
like cameo better, but that's okay.
The eyeball. We're gonna call it the evil eye. It does look like the evil eye, kind of. The rhinestone eyeball. Yes. Okay. The eyeball, and then the other one is the Nivette flower. Is there a Container Store around here?
In White
One in White
Plains.
Plains.
How far away would that be?
25
On the way
miles.
back to
Yeah.
the city.
So if you go down
Sounds like that too,
684 again,
Are you going back?
I have a better idea.
because it's right off of 684.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I have a better idea. I'm actually going to just order it online and ship it to you. So that's a lot easier.
What are you shipping to me? Oh,
A container, yeah, for all my stuff, yeah. Okay. Occasionally I'll take, like, if there's like a rough edge on these, if you guys need to do this at some point, and I'm cutting off these rings, if there's a rough edge, I'll take that metal file. You know, have you worked with those before, where you just kind of...
yeah, I have a Dremel that we just go.
Yeah, just run over it. If it feels like, you know, dangerously sharp, but it shouldn't if you kind of just wiggle back and forth. Okay. We've got these, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the Nivettes. Three. I'm also getting more of these in this week. So I can send you more and say, hey, I need more Cindy bands. And crank them out. Okay, and from time to time, Erica will kind of touch base with you and say, hey, what are we running low on? And you can kind of give her an idea, like kind of running low on the 8mm margaritas. What I'll do before I leave today is I brought each of these in a separate Ziploc bag. I'm going to take a little label and write on each one the technical term for what it is so that we can reorder it. And when you have the bins, when they come in, you can just put that label right on the bin. Okay, I'm going to take about a yard. Cut it. With this band, I'm starting in my center. Okay. I'm going to take the wire and kind of fold it in half. Find the center of that wire. And this is the hardest part of this piece is finding your center. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. Okay. This is, so basically you're just going to kind of start somewhere in the center, but then you want to make sure you are exactly centered. Okay. Eyeball it. It'll move around a little bit. So you're going to start with the centerpiece is a little Navette flower. So what I do is I find like the two opposite sides where there's like an open space to wire. And I just, oops, sorry, just smacked you with the wire. And you're gonna pull really tightly. Even maybe take one more section and reinforce that flower. It's wired in two places on that one side.
We're still on the 26 wire?
We're on the 26. Yeah, I find 26 is easy on these. It's easier on these because it's literally like sewing. You're kind of like just weaving. You're just wrapping. Okay, so I kind of reinforce this flower a couple times. This is the one that tends to love to move around on the really tight. There we go. Okay, so there's your center. And you may find that you can measure it. I just eyeball it, you know, like maybe scoot it over with your thumb if it looks off center. And then go from there. You can always kind of shift these and move them along the band if you need to. But then in the end, you'll use that hypo cement to get it nice and steady on the piece. Okay, so then you're going to use it like, you're going to do it like puzzle pieces.
The crimp covers? Yes, that's for the plain ones, the regular ones.
And, you know, I should probably have shown you. So you're going to go through, okay.
That's the fancy one.
This thing has all kinds of little openings.
Yep.
I'm just going to take it on the end. Slide it down.
Okay. Okay.
And you want to get it in,
Okay.
it's kind of like in that little
Yeah,
groove
so
there.
it's gonna be the
Looks like it's fitting into that flower.
the gunmetal crimp covers and
Pull it tightly. And then you're going to get to your other side. Now here's the thing, what I noticed with these is it's almost like the eyeball is slightly tilted onto the base to where you're wiring through this part and then this part.
So like the opposite part.
Yep, opposite side. It's going to be slightly tilted just so it fits onto the thing better on the band.
Thanks, Pam. Bye-bye.
But
And
it's
on the-
straight on the headband itself. The
Yes.
wire's going in tilted but straight.
Well, no, see the evil eye is slightly tilted.
The whole thing is still.
Yeah, see how it's like it's going
You
through.
just tip it.
Yep.
Got it.
You see what I did?
Got it.
It's actually like, and it's really for practical purposes of getting that wire through that little groove.
Right.
in the opposite little groove. Okay. And I'm just going to reinforce that one more time. And then now I'm going to go on to my next flower. Again, I always find the part where the opposite side is open. Sometimes they're kind of, you hit a dead end because it's got a little petal there. So that's a good side right there. Pulling tightly. And I'm going to reinforce the other side. I'm going to wire this side and then
So you're passing twice through one side, you don't necessarily pass through twice on both sides?
not on both. I mean, I do that with the center one. It's
Okay.
kind of harder to go through it, like
Yeah, going
when,
back and forth.
yeah, going back and forth. But see what I'm doing is they're just like fitting nicely into each other. They have a nice little flow
Wrap it
together.
Several times after to steady.
I'm going to wrap it just a couple of times. Yeah, only twice. I mean, because when you keep wrapping with wire, you can develop like kind of a bulkiness on the backside. So really you only need to reinforce it like 2 wire. Pulling it tight and going through one more time on this one, the eyeball. Oops. I just realized I kind of got caught. Come here. There we go. Okay. I'm constantly like readjusting these little flowers to make, have them fit and flow to the band. And when I do the evil eye, I do like this side, and then I wrap it around the base a few times to get over to this side.
Do you do two
I do 2 on the end
on each
to secure.
side,
Yeah.
on both sides? Just
Only
the first
one on
one?
this side,
That's what I thought.
and then I do
Sorry.
2 on this side.
Okay.
Yeah. It's actually easier that way too, because it's hard to twist twice on that one side because it's backing up to this crystal. To get back in there, it's going to be tough. But on the open-ended part, it'll be easy. All right, so... And then we have one last one. Okay, and see how I'm keeping it relatively centered? Like they're not alternating, they're not going up and down like this. They're staying pretty centered to this actual band here. And then I kind of hold it up and see, okay, is my center flower still center? Yes, looks center. We're gonna do the last one, last eyeball. Again, with these, just check the stones. If there's a stone missing, maybe put it to the side. Okay, at the end. And what I did on this piece was, and I have bobby pin loops that I added to this. Not all brides want that. It kind of gets stuck in the hair. So yours are going to just be finished off like 1, 2, 3 wrap. Done. Flatten that. Okay, and there's that side. Now mine, I've pulled pretty tightly with the wire so it's not moving around a lot. But I brought hypo cement. We're just going to kind of stabilize that back. It's basically the same thing on this side. Am I being timed on this one?
Mm-hmm.
You are. Ooh. Isn't that pretty? Don't you love that? So fun. So then, Erica, I think I'm going to show them how to do one of those barrettes, like the Alexis barrettes that you're making for Ooh La La, and then the Maryland comb, and we'll end on that.
Okay.
How much time do we have? You guys said you had a 3-hour window?
I'm here.
You're here. All right.
So she's got a
while.
youngster,
No, I'm okay.
and she's got corned beef on the stove.
Well, that's the most
I've got a young
important.
corned beef.
Is I've got a young corn.
waiting to be cooked.
Maybe do the Maryland comb first because
Okay.
the barrette is super easy.
The barrette is
I mean,
so easy. You will blink and have a barrette
it's-
cranked out.
That takes me 12 minutes, and the only reason it takes me 12 minutes is getting the beads positioned properly. It's like the easiest thing you'll make.
Yes, it is true. It's quite easy. Okay, same thing. Isn't it amazing? I love that thing. I got those, I ordered more of those little crosses, those little jacks in different color stones. So I got them in like black diamond, silk.
So where are you getting the stones from?
So these come
Town
from,
somewhere?
these settings actually come from a place in Rhode Island.
Ah.
And it takes a few weeks to get them in because what they do is they're setting each stone. There's prongs and they have,
Meadowstone is like all.
they have this, they're setting each one of these stones by hand. So it takes weeks to get an order in. Usually on average 3 weeks, and then 1 week at the platers. So we'll send it off to be plated in silver or gold, and but when they come in, I mean, they're so great to work with that they're ready made. All we have to do is just wire them to the piece. That's what I love about those. And if you feel comfortable working with 26 gauge wire like this, it really is. I mean, I know I keep saying this over and over again, but it's like, it feels like sewing. It's just such an easy, it can feel really like natural just to work with this and kind of loop it around. And when you get comfortable with wire like this, the sky's the limit. You can make anything. I believe this is my last one. Maybe I had an extra flower sitting out, but yep, okay. The key on this is definitely make sure that you're centered, because what can happen is that you end up having too much space here and not enough space here. If that happens, you don't need to undo your whole thing. You're just gonna kind of carefully just wiggle and slide your piece around, but that's hard to do. So you want to make sure, you want to just, as you kind of go along, double check that you have a center that is centered.
Just make like strips of paper that center.
You definitely could, if that's the way you do it. You guys have a good method of doing these. Like, everybody kind of has their routine and their way that they do it. But you guys have the way that you do your wire wreaths, and that works for you.
Very nice, very nice.
I'm like a swimmer, taking off my goggles.
14 minutes. 14 seconds.
I love how
so.
your shirt is striped.
Pressure's
and your phone
on.
is striped.
Oh,
You can't see my phone now.
Her best friend is, it's how I met her, is one of the managers at Bendel's. And you know how like Bendel's has like the stripes, it's like their signature look. She comes in, she has like a tote bag, stripes, she's her phone.
I'm so sick of stripes. These black and white stripes. It's like, oh my god, get them out of my life.
Get them out of my life. Okay, so these, I can leave, you can do maybe a couple of these guys. I'll leave them with the rings on and I'll leave the prep work.
That's fine.
Okay, the next one I'm about to do, actually, I'm gonna run to the restroom, but I want to take this camera off. And I'm gonna go like this. I always think in terms of like a 1/4 inch. Do you mean to do it at regular speed, Melinda?
Yeah, do it the way
Okay.
you do
My warp speed.
it. I would just take a few seconds to just stop, shut,
Okay.
and then move on.
Okay. Trio. Twist your base. 1, 2. Yeah, it's usually like 1, 2. You really, it's not a matter of like how many twists. There's no number. There's just looking at the general size of this.
It's almost like I find too when I do these, it's like a feel.
It's a feel.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
Once you get that feeling, your twist will always be.
Yeah. Now this will be, this is a departure from what you guys do in your other jewelry because it's there's no math to it. There's just not. It's like, it's hard to explain, but it's a feeling. It's, they're handmade. They're not meant to look like they came out of a machine. Okay. Just my base again. So quiet.
Each side is basically the margaritas are on one side and the bicons on the other side.
In this
Flat
particular
out.
piece, I mean, when we end up moving these, they look like they're more alternating. This
Right.
this ends up actually, now that I look at it this way, it looks a bit more patterny. But it ends up looking pretty random because what I do is then I just go
You're moving those in.
this and there's
You're
this.
moving them in from both sides.
Yep. But for now. And this particular motif I use in the wreaths. I use this in the combs because sometimes I'll just take something like this, scrunch it together, and wire it onto one of these combs. That's a good thing too. And as you do this, you want to kind of occasionally hold it up here. How's my length? You don't want to end up being too short where it's like all of it's all scrunched up to the top. The key is to the length of this branch is that you're getting enough, but not too much twist in between each one, like in your base. And with this one, it's just an alternating. I mean, we have some that are all the same. They're all like this trio, in the same color. We have some that are alternate colors. So your pattern will essentially be this for each branch. But we'll send you, like, some of them have like pearl mixed with a flower mixed with whatever. And but the building, the building block is kind of the same technique. The reason I like to work with 26 gauge wire, and Melinda knows this, is the first ones we did 24 gauge. And after a while, these bicones start to really hurt your fingers because they have the kind of like pointed edge. But when, for some reason, with this, it just makes it a little bit harder to twist. With the 26, it's really easy. It just kind of flows.
But you're using 24 gauge on the combs, right?
24 gauge on the combs, yes. Last one.
Those have 10 pieces too, right?
I'm sorry?
They have 10
Yes.
somethings.
Ish. Wait, I don't know. 10. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah. 15. Okay, so here's my guy. She's pretty much identical to that. And it's kind of similar to the combs, or any other of the pieces. This is close enough. I mean, don't get caught up, because what can take a lot of time, and really, I mean, you want to get them right, but you don't want to spend so much time that it takes you an hour to do one of these. It shouldn't take too long. And the flow of these, once you get that right. What do you?
6 point what minutes?
I don't remember.
1 second.
At this point, I don't even remember.
What
how long
is your
it's taking me
length
to
from
do
here
them.
to here? Is that
But I feel like the black ones and stuff, they had less things on them.
The ones that don't have like the different the patterns, they'll take less time. Like these will take a little bit more time, and what takes the most time is figuring out what comes next. That's
true.
What's gonna take the next, because you have to keep looking back to see, okay,
Yeah.
which one do I take? But
And this is what I do is when I'm done, I just kind of bring them together like that. And it just looks kind of random. It's then we could either wire it to a comb like that, or I put it on one of the wreath frames. I could put it on a headband. But this is kind of the basic component.
What is your expected length of the branch?
This particular part right here, or the end part. So
The both.
Okay, so when I cut this, when I first start out,
I know you had about a yard.
about a yard.
About
It's always better for it to be a little too long than too short, because this part here is going to be key to wiring the piece to whatever it's going on to. But this particular part right here, it's going to be about 2.5 inches. It looks like exactly 2.5 inches. That's generally how long it needs to be for this particular component. There may be some that I send you that you just measure it out. It could be end up being like this long. Black crystals,
The black ones,
gold
the
crystals.
champagne ones, I think were
Yeah,
shorter.
they're a little bit shorter.
I think they had a few less extra little branches.
The 2 pieces.
Yeah. Please, there you go. Let me see if this is about. Yeah, this is about 2.5.
Same.
Yeah.
when we send you orders like that,
Yeah.
I can specify this one's gonna be between this and this, if that'll help you guys out.
Yeah, I would
These
say-
branches will end up being
Send,
between 2
send a
inches,
sample
2.5.
branch.
13.
like
Yeah.
that, and definitely,
Perfect.
Okay.
No problem. And then this piece you guys can hang on to here if you want to make, a couple of these, have these on hand.
Yeah.
you guys can keep
We'll
this.
each need one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Well-
one has 13 little branches.
Mm-hmm.
Take a
It was
photo
10
of how
trios
it is
and
open
3
and closed.
Mhm.
margarita. That's what it was. But
Yeah.
it's definitely, it's clearly short.
Yeah, it's definitely shorter. Okay. Do you guys want to take a break or do you want to move on to the next?
What's the next?
It's fine. You're doing this.
Okay. I'm fine. You can roll.
Your head okay?
My head is great. Like a cave explorer. The next one is the Nell band. I love this band. It's easy to make compared to everything else. It's just easy. Is it much? Would you say it's much easier than?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a different technique, but it's quite simple. And once I show you how to start it, it's like I don't need to go through the whole thing, but I will. We can, if you want, we can time this.
All right, well, let me get this. I want to time it.
Here, I can use my phone to time. I can time, huh?
Okay. I'm also getting more of these in. Whatever you need more of, you just let me know. I can label each one with exactly what it's called. These little crosses. That's basically what they are. I'm going to take our 26 gauge wire for this one. This is the Nell band. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take about a yard. Okay. You mean to make this, I'll start the beginning out at slower speed just to show you.
This is 24 wire,
26.
26 also.
Yes, this is definitely, you want to use 26 on. All right, see how the end of these headbands, we'll pass one around. It has that little ball. That's effective in sort of stopping your wire. When you start it out, you want to kind of pull that wire tightly a few times. And finish it off like we do everything with our wire. Nice little pliers down on the outside part, not on the inside because the wire could hurt somebody's head. All right, we're going to start this out. And I like to go, if this is my band, I like to be going in this direction. So clockwise. Just easier for me. I don't know, you may find it different. I don't care if you go clockwise, counterclockwise. This is what works for me. Starting with a pearl.
So you're working away from yourself.
I'm working, yes, depending on which way you have the headpiece turned. All right. Okay, so I wired that little pearl on. Then I'm going to position.
You wire the pearl first. Hang on, go back. You wire the pearl and then you go around the band itself one time
Yes.
to stabilize that pearl.
Yeah, you're not going to go like this and then put the next piece on and then go like this and put the next piece. You want to go around the band to stabilize. So it doesn't, if like one crystal moves, the one next to it won't move. If that makes sense. Okay.
So after each piece, you wire the piece and then you wire the wire to the band after each piece.
Okay.
Okay. So you set this down. Now, these are going to kind of move around a little bit because of the shape and the size and everything.
Is there a name for those?
These are, the technical name is SC534. That's the style name. I call them, they're like jacks. They look like jacks, yeah. Okay, they're crosses, jacks, whatever. Okay, so you're going to go around the center. And then you're going to go around the little leg, one leg, just to stabilize it. Then you're going to wrap the band once. Okay. Then you're going to do a second jack next to it. And what you do is you kind of like fit it in there, like kind of put it next to it to where it's not going to be like perfectly, that. You're going to want to almost like fit it in like a little bit of a puzzle piece there. And then wrap your little leg. And then a pearl. And that's the way that you're going to do it the whole way around. I'll do. And now this wire is not going to take you around the whole thing. You're going to need 2 sections of wire.
And you're alternating your wire?
Oh, you read at the very beginning. You only use one
You're only using,
single. Got it.
yes, you're using one piece of wire. And kind of trying to make it to where they fit together. You don't really see the headband part of it, like the plain metal part, if possible. Usually like flip it over. Okay, and now I'll just make it at Ellen Hunter speed. Because the first part of it is, it's just all the same pattern going all the way around. So I really kind of have developed like such a feel for this that I can almost do it and not look at it. So have all of you made, like, you all have jewelry making backgrounds, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. It's great.
Is your husband from Ireland?
No, his it was probably several generations ago, but his family, they're proud Irish folks. We love it. Last name is Gorman. Isn't it great? You know, and I do it sometimes instead of the pearl, I'll do like a 4mm bicone, like this color, or even this darker metallic gold color. Just kind of mix it up. But this thin crystal headband is really popular, and I think brides like it because it's really comfortable. If you guys feel the weight of the headband is really flexible. Erica, if you want to show them like how it's kind of stretches. Kind of opens up a little, and it's really easy to wear. It's really nice.
A lot of bridal hairstyles.
Yeah, it does. It's super nice. I actually wore one. I kind of wore one similar to this in gold, and I had this big poofy bouffant hairstyle. It's like right. It was pretty right in front of it.
And that actress Lupita
Yes.
wore something similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Oscars.
You know how mad I am that it wasn't mine. I wish it was, because that was a great
But
look.
I think that's great that
Yeah.
for
The
for
Tyler
great
Linsky picture,
occasions
I was-
besides getting married.
You saw that-
And
Gals could
I
wear
had
them.
downstairs I have DVR, but upstairs I don't. I ran downstairs to change the channel so that I could pause it to take the picture of the screen.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Did you immediately know?
Yes.
You immediately knew.
Yes.
And
I
you're
don't know
probably
if
you're
his-
like, I probably made that actually. That's
I don't know if
crazy.
his was yours or not though, because
No, it wasn't.
It
And I'm
wasn't.
kind of glad. Honestly, I mean, I don't know. He's hilarious.
I said the leaves on his are totally different, but I've seen some of those like different leaves accidentally in those.
Oh.
It is? Oh, are you serious? That's
They're
huge.
also down in Purchase.
That's really big. I didn't realize that. So there's definitely a lot of industry here. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and many people work in Manhattan from here as well. Also,
Work in
a lot
Manhattan-
of- a lot of commuters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tons.
I haven't actually properly
Not
like
that- 'cause it's
been
not
around
that-
the city.
When you get on the train.
It's an hour
Yeah.
from here.
Is
what
the
is
train?
there a train?
Oh yeah,
sure.
Golden's Bridge,
Metro
Purdy's.
North. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Oh,
If we
yeah.
let's say we came out here once every other week or once every week, could we take the train and somebody pick us up from the train station? Oh really? How far
Oh,
is the train
God.
station from here?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was looking, I couldn't find anything.
Well, also there will be times. Yeah, there will be times where I send her up here.
That's the.
Okay.
Bridge is a little further.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just smacked you.
Right?
What's
That should be
that?
the Harlem line, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I wonder how long that would take to get into the city.
55 minutes
Yeah.
from Purdy's.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay.
That would be
If you get the
perfect.
express, if you get the other one, it's in one.
It could be like
Yeah,
70
that
minutes.
hour and 10.
Yeah.
But even then, that's
Still,
great.
Yeah, because we had to leave
gotta
how
go on
early
peak.
to
You
get
gotta
out.
go
of the
We
city,
left at
like-
we both were
But
up
you
before
still gotta,
6.
You know, it's still a haul for you from downtown to to get the
Oh my
grass set
gosh,
up
it
already?
is. Well, we have to go. Okay, so I'm from in Battery Park, and we have to go. Our car's parked in Times Square, of all
Okay.
places, but it's really cheap to park it there. We only pay $150 a month to park that car,
Okay.
and it's storage parking because we never use the car.
Right.
But I mean, the thing is, Erica's not insured on my car insurance, and I want to send her up here. If there's times where she just needs to come up here and do a quick tutorial on a couple of pieces, or bring some supplies, or whatever.
I just didn't know how New York insurance works
Before
because
you
at
go
home.
Central.
Oh, I'm in Jersey, so.
Well, I mean, there's uninsured motorists, but realistically, if you're driving,
Yeah. Well, if she's driving
Yeah,
my
I just
car, if
didn't
anything
know if I could
happened.
get a ticket, because I know in
Don't
Detroit,
drive
like
on
I
the
could get a ticket if I don't have insurance under my
On the
name
car
at all.
that you're
Yeah.
driving.
Mhm.
Like when I had my own car, I could drive whoever's car I wanted, but now I don't think I can.
oh, because you had your own insurance
Yeah, because I
policy
had
with
my own
your
insurance
car.
policy with my car, so it covered any car that I drove. And I just didn't know how that worked. 'Cause in Michigan, that's how it works. Like you have to have insurance in order to
As long
drive a
as the car is
car.
insured by the owner of the car.
That's what I thought. I always thought maybe in
Yeah.
New York that as long as,
It's uninsured motorists. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Oh,
she's.
okay.
But you know, it's still, even then, to battle traffic and all
Oh,
the
yeah.
parades
I'm
and
just
crap like
nervous
that.
driving her car in the middle of Times Square. Like,
Yeah.
What the hell? I wouldn't
And even, like, I mean,
hate driving in Manhattan.
you know, I hate driving out of Manhattan, and I would prefer to take the train. So, oh my gosh, this is amazing to know. If, Erica, do you mind writing down the station?
Yeah.
If you guys can
What's it
tell us
called?
the station, well,
Well,
Which
Golden's
one's-
Bridge is one. That's probably more of an express, I guess.
No, well, you would go to
Golden
Golden's
Mile?
Bridge, because the next one you'll pay more.
All right, so Golden's Bridge.
Yeah, go to Golden's
But
Bridge.
you go according to which one has your time schedule also, but those are your two stations.
Golden's Bridge and what else?
Purdy's.
Yeah, Golden's Bridge.
Purdy's.
Just do Golden's
PURDYS.
Bridge. Just do Golden's Bridge.
Like
Okay.
so pretty.
oh, that's cute.
And the best one is Katona. It's a beautiful town. It's Martha Stewart's town.
Wow.
But
there.
it's a little too
Okay.
far for us to pick you up. But it's a beautiful place if you
Okay. So we'll skip
Stop and
that one.
visit.
Oh, that's cool. Martha Stewart's town. Sounds awesome.
Right, that should be
It's a
the
beautiful
Harlem line.
town.
Harlem line?
Martha
Yeah.
Stewart actually lives
Harlem.
in Pound Ridge.
Yeah.
Hudson
but
Line's
she-
like all the way on the other side.
Okay.
I'm kind of slightly experienced with taking, because I have a friend who lives in Pleasantville, and we go up and go hiking, and it's a friend of mine, her uncle.
It's the same train.
Yes. Oh, is it?
Is it? Isn't that the Hudson line? Pleasantville? Isn't that
Nope.
my
No.
side?
Pleasantville should be, isn't that
Oh.
on the
That's Harlem.
Is it?
Yeah, because Chapel Pleasantville.
Right,
Interesting. I love that whole area. Sleepy Hollow. That's a
That's
really
the
fun
other side.
weekend.
That's the
Yeah.
other side.
Okay.
There's a
Oh.
real Sleepy Hollow?
Yes, and it's the best place. Oh my,
That
it's
was
so
my
fun.
line.
Oh my
They
God. that was
officially
fun.
changed
Yes.
their name to Sleepy Hollow now.
It is so cool. Terrytown.
I need to go to
Terry
Sleepy
Town.
Hollow.
It's a nice
All of the
town.
street signs have like the headless horseman.
It is the best.
Or
Oh
is
my
it
God.
Main Street?
I
You
need
can
to
go
go
see
to
Washington
Sleepy
Irving's
Hollow.
grave. Oh, it's the
You
best.
could just take the train up to this place?
Yes, it's so
How do you get
cool.
on
That's the other line. That's the Hudson line.
We went
Okay.
one day, my husband and I went like
Tarrytown, Sleepy
pumpkin
Phillipsburg
picking.
Manor.
And we went, you walk around like the cemetery and you see all the graves of like the super rich, like old Rockefeller people and stuff that are buried there. It's really cool. Love that stuff.
I need to go.
Yes, you do need to
Hudson
go.
Line, you said?
Yeah, that's
Sleepy
the
Hollow,
How do you-
Tarrytown.
How do you get around?
Once
It's
you're there.
found
You
once
just
you're
show
there.
up
You
there.
gotta, you walk, because you're right in,
Yeah, I
right
guess.
in the
Oh,
town.
okay.
Yeah, it's like,
Did you see the church, the little church? With the
Yeah,
cemetery?
it's- I mean, you have to
yeah,
probably
this.
take a taxi up to the town itself.
Mm-hmm.
Tarrytown, just walk straight up the hill.
Tarrytown, that
Cold
little
Spring, you
main
walk straight
town
up the
is,
hill.
yeah.
Erica, Erica moved here a couple months ago from Detroit. And there's so many fun little day trips that you can take from the city. It's really cute. Cool places.
Love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's the
You talking
best.
about the church with the Chibble painting on it? It was glass, stained glass?
I don't know,
Or maybe different.
there's one at Botanical Hills.
Yeah,
with
that's the
Mark
one.
Chagall windows, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's
beautiful.
one
Yeah,
in
across
Sleepy
from the
Hollow.
Rockefeller
There's a little old Dutch cemetery. I think that's where Washington Irving is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. it's-
Across from there is Phillipsburg Manor,
Right.
Yep.
where they
Yeah, that's
do
cool. I've never
everything
been
from
there in a long
200
time.
years ago.
That's sweet. It's very sweet to
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. I didn't cut enough wire, so I have to start over again on this last piece. Sometimes you'll get to the very end of a piece and you realize, like, oh, I'm just out of wire, but I have two crystals left.
On this
To
one,
put
you
on-
just kept going. You didn't.
I actually did, so I did it in 3 sections. I did this section, and then I did the center part, and then I started this as a separate
You did
branch
start
on
this
the
as
end.
separate. That's what I did
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Yep. So you'll do this the same on each one that's like this. So you'll kind of start it as a separate piece. This one is definitely, you probably make this one the most, the Maryland. It's a good mix of pearl and crystal.
12 o'clock.
That's our ridiculous.
Are we, are the Russians
whistle
coming?
to let us know that it's
Who
12
does
o'clock.
this?
Fire department. The fire department.
Oh, just every day at noon?
Yes.
Yabba dabba do.
Yeah.
It's like a Mary Poppins.
The one time
Ridiculous.
we noticed more than one
Captain.
time it didn't go off.
Yeah.
Somebody just stand there and wait for noon and then
I
make
don't
it?
know. I don't know.
It's probably on a timer now. It's probably not even like it probably used to be like the crank thing, but it's probably like not up that anymore.
Huh.
It's probably just a speaker at this point.
And if you're right near it, like if you go to CVS or you're driving past it,
Oh, that's so crazy.
it's like right
Yeah.
ahead of you.
Ah,
You just swerve.
Yeah.
that's so funny. Oh my
That's
god.
bizarre.
It is.
bizarre.
Eh,
I totally agree.
Sounds like we're being invaded by another,
Yeah.
by the enemy.
Carmel is
Like I
invading.
guess I get like once a month or something to test it, like they
Yeah,
do
the
the
Fox
tornado
News.
things, but
Fuck.
I've never heard of it every day.
I mean, it's almost like I guess like there's still churches that do it, and in
Yeah.
this case, it's just the fire department.
Very rare though.
Churches are more pleasant sounding.
Oh, I know.
Ding dong,
They used
yeah.
to do this when they used to do it when you had the shelters, when you needed to have if there was a raid where you had to go into a bomb shelter. That was the origination. of it.
Wow.
They tested the
Which is
siren-
exactly what it sounds like.
Well, they
Was
had-
that, yeah,
they had
it's,
sirens at noon all the time to make sure they were working. And it's just
so now do they just do it as like, is it kind of just for,
Just to annoy millennials.
Now
is
it's
it
just
tradition?
She
Yeah,
doesn't
lunchtime.
Now it's the lunchtime siren.
Yeah.
But you get kind of hungry, it's like Pavlov's dog when it goes off, you're
I
like,
know.
craving Taco Bell. Okay. I'm almost done here. Just one more bead and then I'm done. Does everyone, any questions? If you guys have any questions, we can always hop on Skype. We can answer any questions. And then what we'll do is, like I said, I'm actually going out of town this week. I'm back in next week, at the end of the week. And we can always come back up here. We're happy to just make a little pilgrimage up the Hudson line and we can answer any questions. Sometimes it's easier to just answer it in person.
It's like a village over.
It does.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, we can do that.
Did you get tickets yet? No. I think they're
Sold
until
out
like
again in
December.
November.
Yeah.
Wait, when is he playing?
He's
He's playing every month at Madison Square Garden. I just
You're
went in
kidding.
February.
Fun.
That's cool.
I love him. I saw that play,
Moving out.
Moving Out.
I
Yeah.
saw that too.
Oh, so good. How awesome was that?
That's the other one.
They just had him on like TMZ or something. He played in I want to say like Toronto or something, and he forgot the words to read and stuff.
23
No way.
minutes.
Oh yeah.
He was like,
Uh-oh.
and then he made fun of himself, and he was like, it's kind of all the same thing, and then he just picked back up, and he's old. Man.
What an awesome guy.
He's almost 70 years old. Like he's old.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in like late 60s,
65.
something like 60. He said it too when we were there. Like I think 67,
Wow.
and yeah, I think he.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
I wonder what his social security check is like.
Social security check. don't think he needs a social security check. Give it to us.
Not allowed to have one.
Do you think he denies it?
I hope he
That
does.
probably goes to
Depends
Christie.
on whether he was paying.
Probably not.
Social security, why would he deny it? His money. He had a lot of financial troubles at the beginning.
Well, think about how much he's paid in taxes over the years. That man is,
Ex-wives.
yeah, that man deserves his social security check. How old is he now?
Christy and that young
I
girl.
think he's
67
like
at work.
67. I think he just said when I was at the show. I think he did say, and I think he said he was 67.
Oh. We saw Tony Bennett at Madison Square Garden. That was fun. No, Radio City. It was, and we sat next to Katie Couric and her fiance. I love her. I think she's so cute.
You could send her a headband. Did she get
I
one?
know.
Oh, no.
I don't think
Beyonce's
so.
no.
Not yet.
Hmm.
Not yet. Soon. Okay, I'm gonna leave you all this.
Maryland comb took 23 minutes and 8 seconds.
The last one I'm gonna show you. What time are we working with here? It is. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna show you the last one, and then we're gonna get out of here. This is the barrette that I've been working with. This is perhaps the easiest one you'll ever do. They are different sizes. Now, with the ones that I'm just leaving this medium size here, just really standard small barrette. But what's cool about these is like you can actually pull your hair back in a ponytail with it. Pulls a lot back.
I had many millions of those as a child with big bows on them.
Mm-hmm. There are two sides to this barrette. There's one, it almost looks like it's meant to, you're meant to start on that side with your wire. It's got a little groove in it. That's where you're gonna start. And find your groove side.
I'm sorry, I deleted the focus one and kept the one out of focus. Not smart.
I hadn't finished one in here, but I don't.
It's okay.
Start the wire, the groove there.
The whole?
She said to start on this end where the groove is.
Where the groove is.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, so I'm gonna do my yard here.
Can I see the last one again? So I kept the wrong photo.
So I pretty much trained you guys on the four main pieces, and then that branch kind of gave you a quick tutorial on that. And then this barrette is going to be the last one. Okay, so what I do is there's like that little groove right there. I'm going to use that groove, kind of wrap the wire around like one time. And then what I do is I go through the hole. Just to, because you don't want this thing sliding off the end of the barrette. Again, make sure you clip it where the wire is away from the head. Flatten this. Okay, so now you have your wire is basically kind of stabilized onto there. Wrap it around your grooves, then do it through the hole once so it's not going to slide off the end.
It's not that good.
That's okay.
Okay.
All right, let's do this color. With these, I use my 4mm bicones. So we may say, let's do half in this color, half in this color. Sometimes I do them in pearls, which is pretty too. But anything 4mm for these is good. You're gonna do 3 across. So you're gonna do, and I usually keep this thing open while I'm doing it. So you're essentially just wiring it to that top part of the barrette.
And I'm sorry to keep repeating, but it's
No.
26.
Yes, 26 gauge. I've done 24 on these. It's a little bulky. It's easier to use the thinner wire. I find 26 is pretty much easy across the board, unless you're doing a piece like this or like this.
That one
So
was-
the barrettes always get 24 gauge.
Barrettes get 26
I
gauge.
mean, combs.
Combs, yes.
Yeah.
The combs that are branchy like this, the 24 gauge is really good because it's strong and it's,
So that one was also, because I had written 26.
yes, this is 24. Yeah, 24.
This
Combs
barrette
are
is
24
26.
gauge.
Yes.
Everything else is 26.
Yes, everything else is 26.
So you're gonna like pull through?
The name of this is the Alexis Barrette Medium. because we have a large, the one that's like longer than this. Same concept though, just a little bit longer. Okay, so you're gonna go like this. You're gonna go like that. You wrap around once. You're not gonna, like with the bands, you wrap around a couple times the band to just keep it stabilized. With this, you're just gonna kind of pull it tightly and keep carrying on.
So you put it in the hole first and then wrap?
You're gonna put it in the hole first, and then you wrap that one time.
Okay.
And you're gonna go around. The end parts are the hardest parts because, you know, you just want to cover up that hole and everything. You're basically just gonna do 3 across the whole way.
Trios.
They're not well, kind of.
not.
They're not the
Okay.
they're not the wrap trios. They're just like 3 trio or 3 in a line.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 in a line all the way down.
Yep. And this ends up looking a bit more uniform. It's kind of like, okay, just a real simple crystal barrette. Now, there's this, you'll see this like center like thing here. It's like a springy thing. You don't want to go like over that part. You want to go just under the bridge.
That's what I was actually looking at, because sometimes, most of the time actually, I've never actually seen one where that's,
Yeah, it's kind of a
Solid.
strange
most of the time this piece
thing.
is like its own piece that like
Mm-hmm.
you can like push down or pull out if you have there.
Mm-hmm.
And that, in that case, you'd be able to actually take it out to wrap.
You could.
Usually you
But
can.
not,
Usually they
You
snap out.
Yeah, but
could.
this one's solid. That's what I
This
mean.
one's solid.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
better
at first I was
solid, though.
wondering about that piece, but it's actually,
It's better solid.
yeah, it's good. It won't break off. These are really well made barrettes. I get these from a place in
That's
Long
good.
Island, and they're very excellent. A lot of barrettes will break.
Oh,
These are
yeah.
called like
Yeah.
these are the ones that are stamped made in France
Mm-hmm.
are the best. They're very very sturdy. And knock on wood, I have yet to have one break.
Good. Yeah, a lot of times it depends on how much hair the girl is trying to.
Mhm.
See, that's how I've broken.
Yeah, you'll
Anyway.
find. Try to pull your hair back with that, and try to pull it in the
Oh,
ponytail. Your hair's thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one
Hair's
holds my
pretty
hair
thin.
back. It's too
I have a lot of
small.
it, but it's
It's too small.